Listening to podcasts is a great way to learn more about YouTube and get all the insider info. Now, as students of YouTube, we're always going to want to watch videos, but there's something about being able to listen to a podcast while you're out walking the dog, cooking, or driving. If you're looking for some inspiration, here are a few of my favourite YouTube podcasts, all of which will help you speed up the growth of your YouTube channel. Now, first up, Nick Nimmin's Comments Over Coffee. On this podcast, Nick shares proven, actionable advice on how to get better results on YouTube. Nick takes the questions of the comments that he gets on his YouTube channel and answers them in the podcast episodes. You can also submit questions too. There's a new episode every Monday, and I love the fact that it's short form. The episodes are usually under about 20 minutes, which means that it's great for a short car journey or a quick walk with the dog. Next up is the TubeBuddy Express podcast. This podcast is hosted by the YouTube expert and all-round lovely guy, Dusty Porter. Now, the podcast's full of tips on how to use the TubeBuddy plugin to help with your everyday YouTube workflow. But there's also lots of discussion on the latest YouTube news and features, as well as interviews with YouTube content creators. Should you upload daily on your channel, how to get the most out of your affiliate marketing on YouTube, and the essential tools needed to start live streaming on YouTube. Now, there's more from Dusty Porter, as the next podcast I'm going to tell you about is his own podcast, and it's called the YouTube Creators Hub. Now, this is a podcast focused on helping you generally with your online video presence. Each week, Dusty interviews a different YouTube creator and chats with them about their strategies and techniques for growing their YouTube channel. Dusty's YouTube certified, so he really knows his stuff. So if you're looking for strategies, tips and techniques to grow your YouTube channel, this podcast is for you. Next up is Tim Schmoyer's Video Creators Podcast. YouTube guru and all-round good guy Tim Schmoyer and other full-time YouTube creators talk about how to grow a business around your online video audience. They discuss advanced strategies and tactics that they use to earn a full-time income from their YouTube channels. This one is a must listen. Next up, we have the Women of YouTube podcast with Desiree Martinez. This podcast shares the stories of female YouTube creators, and the aim is to inspire other women to start creating on YouTube. In each episode, Desiree dives really deep into why each individual female decided to start creating on YouTube, why they chose that as their main platform, and looks at their struggles, the successes they've had, and gets really real about what happens when you're a female creator on the internet. And next up, we have Creative Disruption with Daryl Eves and Ricky Ray Butler. This is an interview-based podcast, and it contains insights and stories from leading creators, writers and marketers. It's all about how the worlds of advertising, entertainment and data science are converging. It's really interesting. And last but not least, we have Create Something Awesome Today, the podcast by Roberto Blake. Now, if you're looking for motivation and education, this is the podcast for you. It's all about how to build your brand and your business, and it's hosted by the creative entrepreneur and public speaker Roberto Blake. Now, there's some amazing guests on this podcast too, such as Pat Flynn and Kimra Luna, just to mention a couple. Now, I've dropped links in the description below to all of the podcasts that I've mentioned so that you can access them really easily and get listening. There you have it. Get tuned in and get learning about how you can accelerate your growth on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.